The reason why I built this is I have been feeling pretty burnt out around programming for, to be honest, a really long time now. I just realized due to Facebook's timeliney things that I started Function 2 years ago, almost exactly like on the day, or like, rather like I went full time with Function 2 years ago, and I think that something happened there. Unfortunately, I think something was lost. Like I started doing something purely for the value of what it is that I produce. And what I mean by that is that the channel became a job, something that I did because people liked it, I got something out of it, there was a value exchange, like the audience provided views and confirmation, likes and comments, and to a large degree money, like I run like, and there became sponsorships, and I felt valuable. It felt like I was producing something to the world, and that's great. Like that, it makes the channel more stable, and it's that's why we have jobs, like to provide value to other people, and it made me feel like my existence was meaningful. But there is also some kind of tyranny to that. You become locked in that. Like a job becomes something that you feel like it becomes a duty. A duty is a good word, like, because duty is a double-edged sword. It's on one way, it provides you with a stable point where you know that you are valuable to your tribe and to the world, and you therefore have a role. But it's also a box in which you are expected to deliver certain things in a certain way. That is why people, like, when musical artists release like a new album and it's a radical diversion from what it was, the fans complain, because it's not part of the implicit promise that was there, that people started listening to the artist in the first place. And in the same way, whenever like I change the format around in Function, there's always a ton of comments saying, "Oh, I wish that you did the old videos," and the old videos tend to always refer to something different. But it tends to refer to the kind of videos that person started watching and made them subscribe, and now they are actually complaining about like the implicit promise that was there that is now broken. And there's also another kind of tyranny over, like, when it comes to tyranny. I refer to, perhaps you should say duty, it's a better word. There's another type of duty, and that is quality. And I've learned, like, when I worked at Spotify, I learned a lot about like how to make software in the correct way. We learned a lot about quality and what works, and one such, like, for instance, like unit tests, making sure that the code is elegant, making sure that there's not too much duplication, making sure that it's readable, making sure that it's under proper version control. Like there's tons of aspects to doing a craft well, and all those things tend to be good. I mean, some might be overkill in some cases, but overall we learn these quality things. But they are also a little bit hampering when it comes to a creative project, because it becomes like so many shoulds. There's a should when it comes to like, this should definitely generate value for other people, and in the same way it also should be made to all the quality standards that you ascribe to, like that you adhere to, that you believe in. I am a big proponent of unit tests. I'm a big proponent of CI. So of course, everything I do should have those things. Otherwise, I'm not living like according to my creative ethics or like craft ethics. And that none of those things are like, those pressures are not bad in themselves. Like, it's a good thing to be mindful of what value you give to other people and what and that it adheres to high quality standards. That's amazing. But from a creative standpoint, is like the joy. There's something about like that joy that was when I did the first episode of Fun Function, where I just remember sitting on a train on my way home, and I just ordered a microphone for pickup, like a Blue Yeti microphone. I picked it up the same day on my way home to my apartment and just shot the first episode of Fun Function, the higher order functions, the episode. And that I did just because I wanted it. I didn't have much didn't have any duty to it at that time, because I didn't have an audience, like I didn't feel obligated to do it. It's no obligation. And I also didn't know much about how to produce video well. I didn't have too many shoulds in place. I had some ideas, like structure and stuff. I wanted to do a good video, but like it was hard to fail with it. I decided to just make a video and put it out. And that joy that I felt, that sense of agency, that sense of, hey, I'm doing this because I want it. There's no duty or box for it. That was lovely. And that is something that disappeared the moment I went full time. Then it was gone. And I think that like the fact that I've lost motivation around like producing videos over time is a little bit related to that. That I'm not playing enough, because the thing I was playing with, Fun Function, like the thing I did off my as to blow off steam from my day job at Spotify, that was Fun Function. And then the thing that I used to blow off steam and became my job, and I still expected it to be like this thing that I blew off steam on. So this week I felt particularly down, and I just sat down and just built this thing. I have been this has been on the channel before, like a few years ago actually, and back then I did like this super advanced Kubernetes thingamabob that was way overcomplicated, and I guess like I didn't. There was too much. That's where I think I failed there, because what I built was too much value oriented. I was like focused on this has to be useful for Fun Function, and it has to be adherence to all the quality standards that I do, and I have to like make it into this meticulous quality product, so this time I did things a little bit differently. I focused on just getting it done, getting something done. Like in Agile or like Lean or whatever, there's a lot of talk about MVPs, minimum viable product, and it tends to be way too. Whenever you do a minimum viable product, it tends to be not really the minimum viable product. It tends to be a rather elaborate product still. And I would like to like this was built like with the philosophy of RSP, really shitty product, and it's something that I learned from. It was Tim Ferriss that cited someone else, talking about like the key to producing as a writer is to produce 2 shitty pages per day. And if you do that 365 days a year, you will sometimes write one. Sometimes you'll just write 1 page, but sometimes you'll write a good page. And like during the year, you will generate quite a bit of pages. Actually, you'll produce the majority of a book. And that's the way, that sometimes is the way you need to do to just get yourself going on things, is to allow yourself to have rather crappy output, and then iterate upon it. So this time I just coded this. I just hacked. Whenever I tried to like figure something out, I just didn't try to figure out how to do it the right way. I just tried to figure out the shortest path to getting it working and getting it to do the thing I did. And I decided that this is happening now. I'm doing it like tonight, not this weekend even, or like during this week. The time box was now. I want it done immediately. And I got the basic thing done in just a couple of hours, like an afternoon. And was just like, Jesus Christ, this was a lot simpler than I thought it would be. And then I spent a couple of more days tweaking it, and like now it's actually like a sort of working thing. It does what I want for this first version. And I think that's those two things, like creating like this ridiculous time box for something. Like if you're gonna do something, do it in an afternoon, or like half a weekend, like that's your Saturday. Box it in like that, and don't care about quality. Quality is something that is grown. I think if you care about quality, your seal is quality kills something, just as too much time kills something. If you're not feeling joy, then it's not gonna work. Like I think that quality requires other pressures. You can never get. I think it's hard to get. At least for me personally, it's hard to get quality from joy. They don't really work. Quality is something that comes from duty. I think like that. Yeah, we need to do. Whenever I deliver my work, it's something that goes. Yeah, I need to adhere to, like, it needs to be code reviewed, it needs to have these and these and these tests, but that comes from a different place in my emotion set or my motivation than where I built this. It's a different emotion. This is something that I just feel like, oh God, like, no, I want to do this. No, while the thing at Spotify, where I made sure that everything had test code review and everything, that was more like a sense of like, this is me, the senior programmer. I'm employed. I'm doing this because it's valuable to other people, and this is what I do. And I think that just, in order for quality to arise, it needs to have like that sense of pride and duty and value exchange. It needs a salary, or at least some kind of, I don't know, a sense of duty. While this is something completely different. And I think you need both in your life. I've been talking a lot about in the kind-hearted, humble together video. I talked about like how I feel like needs to be more value-oriented as programmers, not just focus on career and elegant code, but on and money, but also like what it is that we put out in the world and how we relate. But that's not quite enough for you to flourish as a. I don't think that programmers are artists, but I think we are creative craftsmen, craftswomen, or craftsperson. in order to like fully be a creative professional, we also need to cater to this joy of creation, like this spark inside of us. And in order to do that, we just need to do things because I'm hesitant to say because we want it, because that implies like a survival. It's more because our inner compass tells us, like we have like this taste, this thing that just feel like I need to do this, like the thing that made me start programming in the first place, that spark, and I want to do this. This is fun, this is interesting. I didn't have any, like nobody told me to do it. It was an inner compass instead of an outer compass that it's Spotify that is, or from function that is like, yeah, I'm expected to do these videos and people want me to do these videos and people benefit from these videos. It's awesome. Like I make great things with these videos. But that's an outer compass. That's outer value. That's fantastic to have that, especially if it's really valuable things and you're not working on a casino or something. You're working on something really great. That Spotify or function is. Spotify was, function is. But if all you're doing is just like following the outer compass, your inner compass will wither and atrophy, and that not only is bad for you because it makes you like weaker as a creative professional, but it's also going to depress you. At least it depresses me. And it's taken me a long while to understand this, and that I need to not only focus on these valuable things, but also my inner creative compass a little bit, and listen to that and what it is that wants to do, and listen to those impulses. And that's what I did this week, and it felt really good. It's still a little bit like in its early days, but I want to do more things like this where I just like let it out. And that's what I encourage you to do as well. Like pick something fun up, do something new this week, and just roll with it. Get a little thing and code on it. Do it in a small time box. Do it without quality, anything like that, and just have at it. That's my advice for this week. Yeah, if you can, join us on the live stream. Like date and time is link in the episode description. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and have a great week.